My name's Jess Shade, and I'm a therapist here at Red Willow. I work pretty exclusively with adult mental health, folks who have anxiety, depression, who are within the LGBTQ+ community, as well as the kink and poly communities. And then I also work with folks who found me through the Climbing Grief Fund with the American Alpine Club. I meet with folks in person and via Zoom, so several people have found me because they're queer and they live in rural Utah. So we meet via Zoom because they don't feel a connection with any of the therapeutic services in their county or in several counties around them. Therapy it's an interesting process and it's different for every person. It definitely involves heavy lifting. Be prepared to go slow and to sit with things which in day-to-day life we often, as humans, don't spend as much time with. As far as how therapy works, I think coming to it honestly, being prepared to go slow and sit with discomfort, those are really big assets. From there, I try to work with folks and meet them where they're at. The first session with a therapist, I think it goes both ways. I'm a total stranger, and I'm gonna ask you intimate questions about your life. And that can be unnerving. So it's okay to say no, or I'm not ready to talk about that. And it's also, I think, a really good idea to have 2 or 3 questions for the therapist, and to ask questions which are meaningful to you. In terms of therapy, I think fit is really important. And so if you can ask a good question or two that helps determine congruence as people, I think the therapy can flow from that place. I think it can be really helpful to have someone who has lived experience with the queer community, with the poly community, and with the mountaineering community. And those are all identities that I have my own lived experience with, and I think that can be a helpful contact point for clients as well. So a couple resources, I guess, if folks find that they identify with some of these communities. I'm part of the leadership team of the LGBTQ Affirmative Therapist Guild of Utah, and on that website you can find a whole directory of therapists throughout the state who are paying members who come and get continuing education credits with us each month, attend our conferences that we put on, and there's also a bunch of different resource links on that webpage. And then the other group that I'm part of is the Climbing Grief Fund with the American Alpine Club. They also have a ton of resources, as well as pretty interesting recorded monthly conversations between therapists and other professionals in the outdoor industry. And so if you've experienced anything in the mountains, accidents, injury, death of a loved one, that can be a fantastic place to find community and resources as well. A national organization that's really helpful is PFLAG, Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. There's a ton, I think, of camaraderie and lived experience that's pretty rich in that community, and there's chapters all over the country. Talking to other people. The great thing about queer folks is we're randomly distributed throughout the population. So you probably know someone or know someone who knows someone who's had lived experience in this way too. And it's okay to ask questions.